What about now? What about now? No? Okay. Yeah, I know I'm not the best technology wise. But look at Tasha. I'm gonna bring Tasha in now since she in here with me. Um, let me see. Bring Tasha in. Hey,
Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I don't think. Can you hear us, Tasha? Say
Yeah, I
something.
can hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
We
I
can't hear
can hear
you.
you. Which was your sound?
Where your audio at, Tasha?
It's right here. I was sung into the mic. Woo!
I know why. I told you I need a sound person. Hold on.
Okay.
Say something now.
What's up?
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? Look.
I'm repping you today. Ah!
Hey, I know. Look, I'm representing me too. I got my note shirt
I
on.
made sure to put on my shirt.
I so appreciate. This episode when I looked at the podcast and the uploads and you know SoundCloud sent me the information, was like, man, you really done a large body, like this is a strong season. And I said, yeah, and I got more episodes to record, but I said, let me stop because I get a lot of questions about all the episodes once they, add. And so now that we went live with it, the questions come back, and some episodes have gotten like up to 40 something questions. So I cut a lot of questions down. I think I sent it to everybody that's in each group. Which is like, hey, here's some of the questions that people have been asking and everything, especially when it pertains to your episodes. And I was like, we're going to go live. I'm going to talk about them because next week I'll start recording again episodes. But I said, let me stop in the midpoint because I don't want it to, since we recorded some of those episodes, so much has happened, especially when it comes to real world issues and where we are in life. And I said, well, let me do that. And so since I got you on, I know because you are Thursday night football type of girl. I know you are
And
NFL.
playoffs, yes.
Yes. And so even though our Rockets didn't make it, and they say they asked Antonio to walk out, or did he leave on his own merit?
Well, he already being looked at for the Philly job, so I'm sure he it's mutual
Yeah.
at this point.
See,
So
yeah, I was told he went on his own merit, but then somebody
I
told
think he
me,
believed he went
hey,
on his own merit, but remember his contract was up. So
it
if they
was.
didn't already have a new one to sign within the next couple of days, then he's saying, I know it's other people seeking me. So why go where I might not be wanted and miss out elsewhere? That's how I would look at it.
Yeah.
So
I don't disagree on that at all. I think that he's a talented coach, but I don't think he was just a good fit for us. So I think like you said, feeling mutual. But let's go ahead. So since you on first, I'm gonna go ahead and get with you first because y'all's episode Buying Black was serious, and
yeah.
we got a lot of comments from Buying Black, and so since you're here, I want to ask you. They said one of the comments was, is there any success in creating like a Black Yellow Pages?
So I actually haven't seen that, data to say success. I would say some of the Black business groups on Facebook, they are successful, meaning that people who choose to engage in those groups and find different tips and businesses, it works out. I don't think I would have personally drove an hour to buy a pizza if it was not for that group. So to me, I was one customer they would have never received. The problem is always who's going to maintain the data and make the money for it. And that's the issue. So we can agree to put 10 people together on a list, but people forget about sustaining that data, updating that data. And so right now, your social media platforms are your best books. I
Yeah.
don't think it would be unsuccessful. I think it just would turn out to be a niche, because the problem comes when you want to distribute even by email. Who's maintaining the account that can send the emails out? Who has the right constant contact to hold all the emails? So everything requires money. And so at some point, it's who profits and who manages. So for now, the social media groups kind of self-manage themselves. If you don't like that group, you form a new one,
Right.
and you don't lose any money to do it. So it just becomes you have to shift through. So I think that's probably the issue.
Okay.
And that's with everything, because
That's with everything. That's true. But I know specifically people really big on buying black right now. So I think that was good.
Think about it.
One of the questions really towards you said, I really like the hardness and realness of Tasha's level of expertise. I feel like we do not be as honest with black businesses when they are missing the mark. When you have been operating as a side hustle to the point that you can go full time with it as I have, but you have not set up anything outside of a personal banking account, do I need to reimagine my purpose, or can I continue to operate as I do and we continue to use my wife's career for insurance and security purposes?
So the first thing is congratulations for any side hustle that you feel like has allowed you to do it full time. That's remarkable in service and in passion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as the bank accounts and things, that requires a more personal touch, but on the surface, obviously you need to determine, do you want to be a separate entity to separate your income from your personal account? Because the IRS says you have a hobby.
Right.
And you're paying double taxation for your hobby, basically. And so those are things you should talk with your accountant in more detail, or your CPA, to determine what's your best tax benefits. That's when you decide if entities and bank accounts. But because of already in the legal area, I keep everything separate. So even my sports travel is separate from just everyday fun. I don't want it to look like a hobby. So when I go out of town for a hobby, that's a hobby. When I go out of town for a sporting event, that's business. And the way it's designated is I have an entity. So definitely everything with your wife's role should stay the same, but you need to make some personal evaluations, because the IRS says you are a hobby if you haven't fully established a business. So when you say personal bank account and you just a DBA with a name, you are running a business. You are not an entity. So let's be clear about that. You're still running a business, but you are not an entity. So the real question is, do you want to be an entity? And you don't have to re-image yourself or become something different. You just need to formalize and give the proper notices. But you would need some type of legal assistance with that, because you have to make sure everything that you're providing, they know you're now an entity versus an individual on the back end. So but congrats again, whoever that is.
Me too. I thought that was dope. And they were basically saying that it has allowed them to quit their job. And so they don't, report. I'm not encouraging anybody to break the law, but I was just excited to know and to see that come in. I was like, that's still possible, for you to do
Correct.
that. So look, I'm trying to get Evan. Evan is trying to come on because she answer questions too. We had a question for Carlos, and he sent his response. But the question for Carlos was, has Carlos found peace in publishing his own books? Did he decide to be his own publisher because of experiences with mainstream companies, or was it a dream to be his own boss on all fronts? So Carlos said to you guys that had that question, let me bring Evan in. Hey, Eb.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
We can hear you. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
I'm not stage ready.
So Carlos' response to that question was, yes, I love publishing my own books, but just to clarify, I still go through a vetting process like my clients have to do as well for editing, graphic design, etc., because I don't do any of that on my own. Much like the music industry today, traditional publishers can't offer most authors much of anything besides the distribution, and even when they typically only see celebrities as a bankable investment, you only get a fraction of the royalties as a traditionally published author do. Even with advances, that is often recouped by the traditional publisher on the back end. Many traditional publishers also own the rights to the author's work, which my company does not do. Self-independent publishing is definitely a harder hustle, but I found it to be more profitable in the long run. Plus, I do enjoy being my own boss and having the creative freedom. So that was I think that was a pretty good question for Carlos, because people say, somebody asked, is Ebony single in the comments? So I'll let Ebony answer that herself. But she left, so that means no.
Or she'll be back. Don't speak for her. Don't speak for
Oh
her.
yeah, it might be trying to get shows. It is cuffing season. So another question we had, Tasha, since you're on here, it says, the Black Enterprise, let me add her. Hold on, bring her back. Question, it was a question for you and Ebony. It said, the Black experience, Tasha and Ebony have strong views on this. Do they both feel differently on buying Black, and we should consider the profile of the business and not the color of the skin of the business owner?
I wasn't really sure what views that we were strongly different on, because I think it's a personal choice. I said I make a personal choice to shop Black for certain things, just in general. Like I make a conscious effort to do that. But I also consider the business, because obviously I eat at restaurants that are not Black owned. I own clothes that are not Black owned, and I shop at stores that are not Black owned. But like when Carlos was on your show, I made a conscious effort to buy some of his books for someone I know that reads books, because he is a Black publisher and author. That was a conscious choice. Are there other great authors on the top best-selling list that I may want to read their books? I will buy them. And tonight I'm going to eat from a chain restaurant. But over the weekend, I ate at a Black-owned restaurant. So I think there's balance. I don't think I should ever tell you what to do with your money anyway, but I just think that sometimes we forget there are other options. And so when you're trying out new things, I look for something new Black to try, because that's not going to be on somebody else's radar. So I just make it my point to have it on my radar. And that may be the whole HBCU connection feeling internally, or sorority connection, that I just feel like that's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to say you should only buy Black or only support Black-owned businesses. Now, I don't even spend that much time trying to look up a business to see if the profile wasn't Black-owned, to then say I'm not going to spend my money with it.
Right.
So to me, it just you should do what's best for you. But I'm saying, why not try to see if there's something Black-owned you could support that does the same thing you do, or spend your money on?
Good response. Ebony, you have a response?
I don't think we really differed that much. I think our approach to the conversation was a little different, but I'm in agreement with Tasha. You know, I support Black businesses. I may not, and maybe I should. I don't go out and purposely look for them, but when I see one and I like what they are selling or whatever they're trying to offer me, I will support it. But again, I still eat at Chick-fil-A, and we know how they feel about certain things. So you know, it's a personal preference, but I definitely feel that for Black business owners, if you want to be seen more mainstream, you're going to have to promote yourself more mainstream, and sometimes that might be difficult. You know, having the financial backing to be able to put yourself in certain circles that, you know, people can get to know you and stuff like that. I think that's a little bit more challenging for us, which is the reason why maybe our businesses don't take off like certain other businesses that aren't minority owned do.
Okay. So staying with you, we had a question that said, Ebony is right that there is not a blueprint in place to operate a successful business. Does she think that we should provide the resources as well as financial startup funds? because it is not that it is not written to make it happen. Most times it is because they are not willing to do the research to run a successful business. So what are your thoughts on that?
Thank you for thinking that I'm right. Praise God. Also, yes, I do think that there needs to be a blueprint. I think there are successful Black businesses that have made millions and millions of dollars that could actually help another person. Where do normal people like me come in contact with those people? I don't know. Maybe it's somebody like me, maybe who can be semi-successful, who can maybe start it and then maybe eventually add on to it. Financial backing is a big part of having a business. And so a lot of times we lack that. And so because we lack the capital, we can't really make it. Like, our ideas are bigger than what our pockets can supply. So if we can, implore some of these people who have multi-millions of dollars to even create a fund or create some type of financial networking system in place for those businesses that want to apply, that want to, try to get some type of funding, I think that's necessary. I think that will help us level out the field when it comes to what we can do, the type of success we can have, and just overall getting our name out there. I think that is where we struggle.
I agree. So I got one last question for the both of you guys. It says, a lot of discussion went on about the hustle versus the business. Is it wrong that you do not want to support a hustle, but want to invest in the business? My friend has started his own real estate business, but his full-time job is a teacher. I feel like it is a hustle for him and not his full-time focus. I want to support, but I do not feel comfortable putting my eggs into his hustle. Any advice?
So, Ebony, can I go first?
Girl, because I was about to light it up.
Okay. So first of all, I don't think anybody on the episode was against a hustle or a business. I say support either one.
Right.
I support hustles and businesses. That was not why we wanted to make the distinction. We were making the distinction more so to follow up to your previous viewers' comment about when you're ready to take it on full time, it requires more than just a hustle you do after work or on the side. It's you get up in the morning, you're processing it, you're organizing it, your bank accounts are set up separately, your customer service driven versus pushing a product driven. That was my main difference between the two, and that's it. They both can make money, they both can be successful, and you can choose to support both. If you have an issue with what someone is choosing to do as their side hustle or business, that's a personal issue, because it sounds like to me the person wants to do real estate on the side. That's not a hustle. They're hustling an opportunity for a business for themselves. And I'm not clear on what they mean by support. They want to give money. They don't want to give money.
Buying a house.
They don't want to buy a house as that person as their realtor.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good reason not to use the person. I'm totally against that. They are just as competent as a realtor that works all day long. What should be at issue is things that we brought up before about resources. If you can't return calls timely, then you have to figure out, maybe I need to share my commission with another realtor so that if my client calls me while I'm in class teaching, that they get called back. Those things you have to be accountable for, whether it's a hustle or a business. And that's my point. You can't expect her to excuse you while you're at work teaching, but also don't judge them before they've actually had an opportunity to serve you. So honestly, I can tell you my first home that I purchased, my realtor worked a full-time job. And my mortgage loan officer had a full-time job. And I didn't judge them either way as it's a hustle. And matter of fact, they had great paying day jobs. They were engineers. They were choosing to do this. So to me, I felt happier about the situation. I felt like they had passion in it that, okay, you're going to get off work all day working as an engineer and try to sell me houses on the weekend. Let's go. Yeah. So that's how I would look at it. He want to teach all day and get off work and show houses and spend all weekend showing houses, well, I'm hopping in the car. Let's go.
I like that. Ebony?
I agree with Tasha, particularly about the person having an issue with what he does on the side, like that. The perceived intent behind the question was like your lack of faith in him, your lack of trust
Right.
of what he can do, and almost a mockery of the fact that he wants to do that. And that is the problem that we as Black people have when we try to support other people. It is like, why can't I do this? Why can't I hustle until this hustle makes enough money that I can quit my full-time job, which would then give me a sense of flexibility, a sense of freedom, a sense of financial ownership, and maybe some peace of mind, because it's difficult working for people. You know, it is difficult trying to manage people's attitudes every day when you are not invested in the job. I think everybody starts off somewhere, and
Correct.
everybody helps everybody along the way get to where they need to go. And I think people in general need to remember that, because it could be as small as, you know, somebody helping you make a basketball team, you know what I'm saying, practicing when you were a kid, you know, to now somebody helping you become who you are. I just felt it was really condescending on that end. I definitely support people hustling, and I am a firm believer is, if you're gonna hustle and you want to make this hustle how you eat, then don't lose your daytime job until that is able to happen. So I applaud a person who can work all day and still decide to have the energy to invest in something else that is going to give that person a sense of pride or just peace. I do understand about the greed component, because it can be looked at that way, because, you know, there's a lot of people who want to have multiple streams of income for greed. Not that they necessarily need the money, or that their daytime job is not, sufficiently paying them what they need to pay, but because, you know, it's greed. I get that. That is an error to consider when you think about that. But I think that just falls into a negative mindset. You are already setting a person up to fail if you think that is their intention.
Yes.
And people, especially us, we're going to have to work through that, because I think as Black people, we are conditioned to work a 9-to-5 and be safe. You know, and so when we decide to move out of that space, it's like, well, what is he doing? Why does he think that he can do something different than what we are doing? You know, and then that creates a sense of jealousy, some enviness, you know, just things that we are trying to move away from in the Black community. So I think that person should give his friend a shot. He never knows, you know, what type of deals he can make, what type of houses he can see. You know, everybody needs a shot. And if I was the real estate person that was the friend, I might have to reevaluate our friendship if this is how you feel about my abilities to do things. And so I don't know, but that's about it.
Good responses for both. I agree wholeheartedly on all fronts. It's, you know, it's either you're going to support them or not. So, but I thank y'all ladies for calling in on you guys' episode, because it was a very popular episode. A lot of people wanted a return show, so we'll be talking about a part 2, because there are a lot of
so we can work on that blueprint.
And so so I appreciate you guys. But
okay,
thank y'all for calling in, and you know, I know you guys are busy and got other things to do, and good luck on tonight, Tasha, as well.
All right, thank you. Good night.
What you got going on tonight, Tasha? What you doing tonight? I missed it. I'm sorry, I'm late. But what you got going on tonight?
It's Thursday night football, sweetheart. You know I do football shows.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Bye
Gotcha.
bye. Let's not interrupt this show. Bye bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
Hey,
Hi.
listen here. Y'all on here?
Hey.
Where's Kamisha screen?
I don't know.
Kamisha, come on with your technology. We see a black screen. Y'all see a picture of her?
Oh, she left.
Man,
Oh,
she
she
got.
left. She left. She'll be back.
She'll be back. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm backstage.
Good.
That was you, Shanae. What's
Me?
going on?
Yeah,
I'm
I was backstage. That's what it said.
Right.
in the green
We were
room.
watching.
Y'all are on what's the show? I don't even watch TV like that no more. Come on, Kamisha. There you
There she
go.
goes.
I'll meet you there.
Kamisha, where you at?
Where's Maisha?
I think
I'm right here.
she had too much time.
Somebody said Kamisha's too busy celebrating heritage.
Oh my God, my mom.
Ma'am, you can't come on.
There go Maisha. How y'all doing?
Hi, girl.
Hi,
Look at y'all. Look at the sister circle. Now, y'all. So glad y'all could join in on tonight. And look at y'all. And what is Kamisha? Who's Kamisha talking to?
You know, Phil.
Misha got a house full over there. I see
Kamisha got so much going on. She's such a busy woman.
Yes, she
So we're gonna get right to it. You know, y'all's episode was really, really we got a lot of comments about you guys. Oh, look at the little one. She's in. Hey. So got a lot of comments about your guys' episode. People really, really liked it. People appreciated the real and the rawness of it. And there was some serious questions. So you know, one of the biggest questions it says, love that the ladies were all friends as well as sorority sisters. Do you find yourselves okay with expanding your circles, or do you believe in keeping it small, even if there could be people that could easily be added?
So all of us may have a slightly different answer on that. We're gonna let Shanae.
Well, since
Come on with it.
I personally would say that it's definitely hard adding people to the circle. And for me personally, I'm really not a people's person, and that's crazy because I'm an educator, and I mean I love my parents and I'm good with my parents, and but I guess I just got trust issues, and it's hard to really allow people in a circle that's so unique and vulnerable at times. And I feel like that part of the circle, that trust has to be gained for me to really get in that vulnerable state and start to share the things in my life and know that I'm gonna be supported, and my business not gonna be back out there in the streets because the people I shared it with went and told. And so if I share something with them, I know that it's gonna stay with us. It's not gonna be us and everybody else. And I feel like that's kind of where I stand. And so I'm no new friends.
I like that.
And so for me, it's
Mhm.
for me, it's not hard. I mean, people have ended up in you know, like we didn't start with, you know, who we're finishing with, right? There has been movement either in or out of, you know, of what we do. I think the misconception about what we do is that it's all about the fun, you know, it's all about the hanging out. And what they don't see is the pain and being in the trenches together. And you know, I shared with you, Corey, earlier today, a message that I sent out about Shanae, who, you know, she sacrificed and gave up a whole week of her life for me. She moved into my house for a week because I had training and I couldn't get my kids to school that week, you know? So, you know, she took on 3 kids. That's hard, you know? So, you know, this isn't this fun gang, you know, we do have a good time, but you got to be able to really step up. We don't even ask. The thing about what we do is we don't ask for help. We just go out and we see a need and we go fill it, you know, and that's who we are. We can say, hey, Kamisha, we noticed you haven't been as talkative this week. What's going on with you? Check in with us, you know, because we know that all of us we're very strong women, and we don't like to ask for anything because we know we'll get it. We'll eventually get through it. And so we've created this environment of a no need to ask. We don't ask. We don't have to.
They say turn up your mic. They can't hear you.
Okay. I don't know if I have a mic to turn up, but I hope that that's better. I'm gonna just move the iPad closer.
That's look. Hey, they'll just deal with it. Just you find I can hear you. I mean,
oh, okay. Well, if you can hear me, we good. Tell them to turn their stuff up, okay?
Okay.
So all I was saying is we've built a community of trust and sacrifice, and that's hard to bring other people into. You know, it's because it's organic, and so it's not like we're out putting applications out. Hey, you want to be a part of the crew? You know, it's not even that.
Yeah.
You know, if you organically end up, you know, vibing with, you know, everything, and you know, we see that you're in this with us the way we can be in this with you. I mean, we're not telling people no, you can't be our friend, you know, but we're not seeking it out either, you know.
Yeah. Robin.
Yeah, I mean, our friendship is long and deep because of all kinds of reasons, and we all became friends differently. And it just so happened that throughout our activities with the sorority and life, we became friends collectively. And so we just happened to share the same values and the same interests. And then we rode together and we tight, and that's it, you know. And so because we have such a history, it's hard to just add people to the group. You know, you're not gonna get our jokes. You're not gonna understand why is Robin crying today? It's like, well, you know, this is what happened so many years ago, you know, or why Maisha don't like this? Well, you don't know what happened, you know, so everybody can't share in that experience. And that doesn't mean that we don't have other friends. And when we hang out, we do, you know, bring people into the fold to have the fun part and kick it. But yeah, you know, no new friends.
Hey, I'm with it. And then I'm a big believer of friends and not circles. You know, you can have great people around you, and that's a common thread. You know, a good person is gonna always have good people around them, and it might not necessarily be a circle. I might have somebody meet you, you might meet them, and you bring them. It's just good people, and that's very important because all circles are not made of good people. You just have some tight circles, and you're working to make those people better. And I like that, but I really like y'all sisterhood. Here's another gut wrencher for you guys. It says, I am a mother that is struggling to find the support, and I am not Greek. My family lives out of state, and I'm going through a divorce. What advice can you give me to keep it together for my two young sons at this time, being that their father has decided to live outside of the home with another woman that also has children?
All right. So I'm gonna go here. I'll go here first. So although I am Greek, I did go through a divorce with 3 children, and at the time they were 1, 2, and 3 years old. And it was not a friendly or amicable divorce. It was tumultuous. It was hard, and it was unpleasant. So the best advice that I can give, you know, in a blanket situation, because everybody is different, right? Everybody's situation is so different and people are different. So the best thing that I can tell you about just some blanket advice is to start to heal first, because everything is going to hurt if you don't start doing something from within first. Everything is going to feel like it's personal. Everything is going to affect you deeply. So you got to dig deep and start to forgive yourself for whatever you felt was your part in the demise, or, you know, where your life is right now. Forgiving yourself is going to be a huge thing, because as strong as we pretend to be, right? And we're strong, and Shanae is laughing because she know I'm talking to her. So as strong as we are, okay, we as the women carry a lot of guilt. We bear a lot of that guilt of if I had just done this, or had I done it differently? What if I had made that, decision instead of that one? And so we feel like we're responsible for whatever happened, even if it was out of our hands, right? Because there was something that we could have done differently in order to put us in a different place in the end, right? Or we think so. We think we could have better controlled our environment. And so you just got to forgive yourself. Okay, so release that burden, release that, that thing that's in you that says, I could have done better, I chose wrong, and look at me now, and I did this, and now my kids are all messed up. And we start to think of all the things that we are going to have to bear in order to survive. And I will tell you that there's going to come a day, and you may not think you may not think it's coming, but I promise you this day comes. And I went through the trenches, and I went from this just survival mode of just, how do I get through tomorrow, right? How do I just get some sleep tonight so that I can wake up and be there for my kids tomorrow? That's survival mode. And that's that first stage, right? You cry a lot, and that's okay. Forgive yourself for being sad, forgive yourself for being upset, forgive yourself for being angry. Everything that needs to happen can't have anything to do with his new household. You got to let that go. That has nothing to do with you. Now you got to figure out what you and your kids need in order to be okay. And then one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be better than okay. It happens like that. It's a process, right? And you got to trust your process. And you're going to backslide. You're going to be mad. You're going to have these moments where you're like, oh, I can't believe I let myself get that upset. I can't believe I let myself yell and scream and, all these things. Like, I felt like I was a bad mom for a little while. I was yelling all the time. I was sad. I was upset. I was hurt. And I was taking some of that stuff out on my kids. And I just realized, you know what? We all we got, right? And so what do I need to do in order to heal so that I can be a better mom for them? But in order to be a better mom for them, I got to be a better me for me. Because unless I'm healthy, I can't exude happy things. I can't, I can't give you healthy thoughts and healthy things to take on your day if I'm not healthy first. So I think as moms, we forget to take care of self because we instantly go into save everybody else mode. Let me make sure my baby's good. Let me make sure I get my son off to work or school or whatever. We get in to fix everybody else so that nobody else knows what we're dealing with on the inside. Okay. It's what we do, but it's just the wrong approach. And when you finally get to that finish line, you're going to look back and think of all the different shortcuts you could have took to get there. If I had just let that go, so just kind of tell yourself now what matters most. And what matters most should be the health and wealth, the health and sanity of you and your household. And so how do you get there? It can't have nothing to do with him. It can't have nothing to do with his new family. That ain't got nothing to do with you. So you got to take care of you, take care of them babies, and girl, call me because we can go there. We really can.
She needed. I was over here like this. I am somebody. And I know it don't have anything to do with me, but I'm over here like, get it. So that's strong. That's strong. And I'm sure a lot of people can use that, not just with that particular question, that advice that she asked, but you can roll what you just said over in a lot of different ways because some people are very unhappy with themselves and things that failed. And so it was solid. Okay, Robin, got one for you. It says, I think it is awesome that the young lady is taking care of her mother while trying to also still continue with her own day to day. Was this a decision that she made on her own, or did the mom request? I'm asking because we have to make a decision to put my mother in a home or stay with one of us. And this is a pretty heavy decision for us.
So for me, I moved back home because I had some traumatic things happen. My father passed away and I was his caregiver. And around the same time, the position that I held was a really great job, but they took that position away. So I was faced with the grief of dad, then the grief of losing my job. Then on top of that, they told me I had to have surgery. And I was the Baptist of the chapter, and I was a national officer. And my mom looked at me and she was like, why are you trying to be Superwoman and do it all by yourself? And I was just fortunate enough. She was like, come home. Why are you out here in these streets and you're struggling? Just come home and figure it out. And so that's what I did. I came home and it became an extended of me. And then I'm like, I'm a planner, you know, I'm going to do it for this long and then I'm going to leave and I'm going to do this. And it just didn't happen like that. Right. And so COVID hit and it's like, it just shifted everything because I was on the plan of I'm going to get an apartment. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. You know, I'm still planning. But COVID hit and it was like, no, because I don't know what would happen to mom if she was by herself during that time. So it wasn't really that type of decision. But when I heard that question, I'm dealing with now, I have a brother and he's in Omaha, Nebraska, but he's suffering from ALS. And if you don't know what ALS is, it's basically a disease that slowly kills you. Your muscles just are no longer working and your major muscles. So that's your heart, you know, that's your lungs, things of that nature. And so we're having to deal with as a family, how to take care of him long distance. And we've even had to talk about the home and, you know, putting him somewhere. He's fortunate that he has a girlfriend that lives with him and she quit her job to stay with him full time. But those type of decisions are hard. There's no right answer. You know, the relationship me and my mom have is different. You know, we're open and honest. We talk about it. And she has told me like, hey, when things go south, this is what I want done. You know, if something happens, this is what I want. So we had that conversation. And I think it's hard for people to have the conversation with their parents, but it's necessary because I didn't have that conversation with my dad until I was going through it, and it made it that much harder, you know? So, and my mom saw what happened to me and she was like, I don't want that to happen between you and I. So making those decisions and coming up with an agreement, but you deal with personality traits, you deal with, you know, your ability to care for somebody. It's a lot harder than you think. So you have to figure out what's best for you and your family. Mm-hmm. Pray about it, and move on from there because I'm not going to lie, it's a rough road, but you'll feel so much better when you have the hard conversation.
Good. Tough. Heavy. Let's see. I got one for you all. It says, as mothers, you all are sheroes. Do you find it hard getting empathy from fellow mothers because you're expected to be the rock of it all?
It's a very...
KK, you muted yourself.
I don't give a crap. I'm just kidding.
Is that what you unmuted yourself to say?
No, I'm just saying. No, I don't. I mean, I don't think there's any pressure. I think that, you know, everybody's just doing what they're doing on their own time, and if somebody wants to say something to me or not, then that's their business. But I'm doing what I can do the way I can do it.
Right.
And I'm gonna say absolutely not. There's the mothers that I've been blessed to be around are fully supportive. They all know the struggle.
Right.
They know that even those of us or those of y'all who make it look easy, we know it's not easy. So, you know, I get random gifts at my doorstep. You know, people will send food for lunch for my kids because, you know, just take a break. And, you know, I think if you just surround yourself with the right people, if you got people around you, you know, that are naysayers about parenting because, you know, you just supposed to do it, then those are the wrong people, sis. So just, it's about who you surround yourself with. We all know that, you know, whether it's one child or 5 children are not easy. You know, if it's easy, you're probably doing it wrong. So it's just surround yourself with people that understand that this is a struggle, but it's a struggle that we can all win, and we can all win it differently, right? The way that I win is not going to be the same way that Shanae wins. So just understand that even though we can all do this differently, this is all something that we can work through together, and just as long as we're supportive.
And I would say it's kind of hard to get empathy when you act like you got it together all the time. Because at the end of the day, they're like, well, what she need my help for? She got it. She good. So you, like I said, like you have to show that, you know, I need help. I don't know it all. Or you know, how did you do it? And like she said, no one's going to do it the same way. It's going to look different with 2 kids, with 1 kid, with 3 kids. And you just have to put yourself out there that you don't have it together. And I think that's a lot of what moms struggle with, is that I have to present myself as this this super mom and this mom that has it all together and that my house is clean and I do laundry, I wash it, I dry it, and I fold it all in the same day. But no, that's not realistic. And so it's hard for people to find empathy in your situation when you got it. So you got to kind of, take that front off for a moment.
Awesome. Well, I love all you ladies. I commend y'all all the time. And I think the episode was refreshing for a lot of people because I think, y'all are really, not saying you're lucky, but it's hard to find good people these days. And I think it was contagious to a lot of the listeners. You can tell in some of the questions, because you guys got a lot of questions about like advice for a sister circle or, good people. And if they were looking for advice, and a lot of questions like, can they have a follow-up episode? So we're going to work it through, because I know we are, we're not through COVID, but the world thinks we are. So, it's getting a little bit better for us and stuff. I know you guys are back to school, and, Maisha got the University of Butler over there. So I know it's a lot going on, but I thank y'all ladies for calling in, answering some of these questions. Like I said, I was telling people, it's so many questions I get, and they come, and I just collect them, but I try to go through and get the heart of them or the meat of them all that I think they really represent y'all to a T. And got a lot of Maisha needs her own show. So I told Maisha that, and a lot of people asked, they really liked your story and your message. And so just know y'all we'll be doing the part 2. And so thank y'all for calling in. Thank y'all. Y'all have any last words, anything y'all want to say to the people?
We just trying to see the rest of them questions.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Don't hold back. No.
I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna let y'all see them so y'all can. But I'm gonna keep them anonymous. But I'm gonna send them to y'all so y'all can laugh. But some of them are like comments, and people ask for people's information. I was like, so.
We told you about that.
I do want to say, don't go looking for a sister circle, because looking for one, you're not gonna find the right thing. Just let it happen naturally.
Okay, I like that. Don't go looking for it. Just like don't look for trouble. You'll find it. So. But, well, thank y'all, ladies. Y'all can go ahead. I know life is hard and simple and exciting at the same time. So I'll get through this so everybody can get to their Thursday night football. But thank y'all so much for calling in. I really appreciate it.
Night.
Night. Did I say night?
You did.
Also, am I getting profile pictures tonight?
You sure are.
I didn't know we were ready. I thought we were still in the green room. So
I removed no special cigarettes and nothing. Crystal, what's up with this screen?
Oh, this is what you're getting. This is what you're gonna get.
I know that's real.
Crystal, I can't see you today.
Nope.
It looks like I only see you on Facebook.
Where's
the storyteller?
Crockett Monkey. I mean,
both of them. Where's Beyonce and Kelly?
Where he kept texting?
Because the people don't care nothing about us three.
We're replaceable.
Yeah, interchangeable, as Corey.
Interchangeable.
We were not. This slew of questions that came in for this episode were mainly for Calvin Thomas and Jimmy Ray Osborne Smith,
who are not present.
Who are now not present. I don't know if Calvin's in the green room or where he is, but we know where Jimmy is. Jimmy told us that, hey, his appearance fee for him. No, I'm joking. But y'all, it was a lot. Y'all had a lot of comments. A lot of comments. A lot of questions too, but y'all had a lot. I think y'all had the second most when it comes to it. So since it's just us two, we're gonna roll without him. He did all that talking.
All of that.
All day.
Because we're not talkers. They are.
They
were. That's why they were head drum majors, and we were just followers.
Yeah,
I know.
No, let me say that. Let me take that back.
I know.
Well, let me go to the first question. I did get a question for this this episode. It said, particularly it said, Corey, you didn't have to call JY ghetto. Correct that. JY is not ghetto. We were in the ghetto. We were a small school in the ghetto. So let me correct that because, I was talking so fast and I was like, yeah. And my JY people got with me a little bit. And so I just want to correct that we were not a ghetto school. We were a school in the ghetto. We are the heart of Houston. I'm aware of that. Jackass has very strong history, strong ties.
True.
So
They do.
I wanted to, go ahead and publicly say that because everybody know I love Jackass Senior High School.
Yes, indeed.
I just had
Show him your jacket. Show him your jacket.
I will not.
I'm just putting it out there how much he loves it. He still has his
Letterman.
Yes. Now I have a band uniform as well.
Now you're going too far.
I have it though.
Well, I mean, hey.
But yes, and then also I want to also clear up that I didn't choose college based off band. I chose it based off my major, and band was an integral part of it. That was another question too. Like, did I choose should I choose school for band? Like, what was your final? And I saw. Let me correct that as well, because we were in the moment, and when you're live, there's a lot going on. So you're just talking like a regular conversation. I'm not a talk show host. I'm not that one of those, and I won't ever try to be. But I have my moments where I just talk, and so I want to correct that. I was going to
Crispy, you see me? Oh.
I know.
I was going to college for engineering. Texas.
No.
What?
I wasn't talking about that. It was that I'm not a talk show.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I'm a host.
I'm gonna say this.
Host voices.
I'm gonna say this. You are doing a great job
Yes.
with the podcast, even though you're not a radio or television personality. Like, you're doing a really good job with the podcast, man. Like, for real.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. I'm glad it gives everybody an option. People can do anything they want, and they, and they choose that.
Even special cigarettes.
Even with special cigarettes. Hey, Andrea. Well, I wanted to say that, like, also, I was going to college for engineering, and Prairie View had a great engineering program. Texas Southern, unfortunately, did not have one, so that's why they were not in the running for me to go there, because they didn't have an engineering program at that time. So it wasn't like I was over there like, oh, they banned trash, so let me not go there. That's not how we operate. So, but at the end of the day, I want to clear that up. So.
Mike, check one.
Wait. Let me and Trish talk before you start.
I know, before you come in here.
You
My
late.
bad, my bad.
Chris, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Prairie View was not my first choice. I didn't even know about Prairie View until like I started. Trish and Nate and Rodney, they went to Prairie View, and so as younger kids, we saw and heard about them going to Prairie View. So that was my first time hearing about Prairie View. Mr. Wilson had TSU, like the assistant band director at the time, come and do auditions with us. So, like, I was going to head to TSU because he was going to give me a scholarship. But when Miss Scott got there and she sent us to the high school band camp, that's where I met Corey. I was sold. So, I initially did go to Prairie View for the band. And I was really good on my horn. And I said, I wanted to be a band director. I love band. And that was my major, but I did change it my junior year to business. Things happen, but band was the reason why I went to Prairie View initially.
Because you were originally a music major too, right? Or did you eventually go to computer information system?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Yes, I was a music major freshman and sophomore year, and then I changed it because when we started taking music theory, I was like, oh no, this is not for me. So I changed it.
I never knew that. I never knew you wanted to be a band director.
I did.
Wow.
Let me just say, Salim and Aaron, I see you both. That's not true. I'm not a host, but I'm doing the best I can. Just like
job, like Trish
keeping my head above water like the Jeffersons. Let's look at some of these questions. Since we finally have Kelly. Beyonce couldn't call us.
Wait, can I say that I went to Prairie View for band?
Did you?
I did.
Okay.
I think prior to, like, I don't even think I was gonna go to college. Not really.
I remember you were leaving. You were gonna go to at the band, like football season. You train you going back to Houston for ACC or something?
I did a semester Hated it. Ooh, I hated it. Went home. Went to ACC. Got a job. Was just working, going to school, and then that summer I just said, I ain't doing nothing here. I'm gonna go back. And I went back in the fall of '96 and did not come home until I finished. Well, I'll take that back. I finished there and I, began to work and everything, but I did. I went on ahead and finished it out. Yep.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin, did you go to Grambling for band?
Yeah.
Okay.
My high school band director was a big influence on me going to Grambling to be in the band. That's my specific reason for going.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's get to some of these questions. Y'all had plenty of questions, so let's hit one of them. It says, do you think any mainstream media of HBCU had? Oh, we just kind of answered that one. Okay. Did the band give you a false sense of reality in the real world, or did it prepare you for the workforce?
It prepared me, and because of Prof. Edwards. One thing he always said, and I think I tell myself to this day, sleep is a luxury.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, I kind of like live by that a little bit, but sometimes I have to say, you know what, Prof, I'm going to have to get a nap in because I have to stop. I have to, rest. But sleep was a luxury. And he would say, anybody got an 8 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, Prof, you better be there. And that was at like 1 in the morning. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely, I use a lot of the things that I learned marching in the band to this day. Work. Just my work ethic, how I think about things, and how I don't take things personally like I used to. Just have tough skin, and agreeing with Trish. Like the band director, Prof. Edwards. A lot of his quotes, his sayings to us, it resonates in my mind like so many times. And the things that you hear from your drum majors, your section leaders, what I used to tell my section. So yes, grateful to have been in the band.
Calvin?
Yes. For me, what really helped me now is being on time, man. If we say band practice started at 3:30, actually it's going to start at 3:15. So I apply that to work. And it's just a normal for me because when I was in band, we're always on time. And if you show up on time, you're ready to go. Work, same thing. Unless something happens with traffic or something. But yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm not going to answer, so because I have enough co-hosts. But I echo every sentiment that you guys said. Is the Black college experience that different to where you make those that didn't attend feel differently?
Tough.
It's to each his own. I don't know. I just think that, we went to HBCU probably to be around or to continue to be around people that look like us. You know what I'm saying? And come from different walks of life because, it was just it was just a different experience, and to go somewhere else I think would have just maybe scarred me. So I don't want you to feel different because you didn't attend. Like that was it was a choice. So we just kind of have to work in our choice.
I agree. Crystal, Calvin?
Crystal?
No, you go ahead.
That's a very sensitive topic for some. I've seen where some have disagreed on social media with that. For me, the Black college experience, HBCUs accepted us when no one else would. Before all of this big requirements where you had to have a certain GPA and certain ACT scores, you go to HBCU. There were open admissions at one point. And just because a student may perform at a certain level that wasn't an A student, there are some of those people now that are CEOs and COOs who are very successful in life. So it tells you that you go to HBCU, you still have an opportunity, you still get a shot at being successful in life. The ratio in the classroom is totally different. There's a lot of things that's totally different that goes along with the experience that prepares you for the future, prepares you for life. There are some experiences that I just know that hadn't it been for me going to an HBCU, I wouldn't have been able to be successful at it. So that's my take on it.
Okay, I really want to answer. Can you just ask the question again? Thought I could use context clues. I just kind of forgot the question.
Says, is the Black college experience that different to where you make those that didn't attend feel different?
I didn't really answer that part, the last part.
Like with me working with majority of everybody went to Texas A&M. I even with me, like on college day, I wear my Prairie View shirt. It's like 3 or 4 of us that, wear our Prairie View shirt. I don't feel like they are overpowering us. And I feel like when I'm wearing my shirt, I'm not trying to make, the other Black people that work at my job that did not go to HBCU, we just talk about the experiences, like I'm interested to know about how their experiences were. And so, I'm open to tons of conversation. I'll never let anybody feel like they're, less than me because they didn't go to HBCU, but I'll definitely let them know that I feel like we are royalty. Like when you step on a HBCU, it's just royalty. Like I'm so proud of it. I know we all are. So,
and I can add to that. There is some that feel that the experience that we have that are Black feels that we tend to think our experience is better because they went to another school, but that's guilt that they have to deal with. I mean, I went to the school that I wanted to go to, so I would not sit here and let you tell me y'all think y'all this and that because you went to HBCU. You made your choice.
There you go.
And I made mine. And so just appreciate where you went. I mean, you wanted to go there apparently, so be it. I mean, they're still taking enrollment is still going on. So
maybe they did want to go
there. There you go. So
their parent could have had a hand in choosing, like maybe saying like, yeah, you're not going down there. It's a party school,
And it's so funny that now we get more of these conversations from those who are our peers that we work with, and about this conversation when this conversation is only talked about now when all of this going on HBCU movement. But you didn't think about it 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So why you want to discuss it now that, we think we this or that, or my experience was, no, I mean, I go to homecoming, you're going to stay at work. So.
Or you could come to homecoming.
Yeah.
Well,
just not with me.
Well, this is my take on it. I think that school choice is school choice. I support anybody at any school they attend. I mean, if it's a PWI, if it's a private college, if it's a technical college, if it's a community college, a school is school. And I think that there is a climate, there is a culture at the HBCU that you don't get other places. I don't care if the school is world renowned. I don't care if the school is right up the street and it's a population of 500. Paul Quinn is right here in Dallas, and it's always popping. And so I don't really have an issue with it. I support people who have went to PWIs and everything like that. And I don't think that they should feel any less. I don't think they should feel any like invaluable. It's just a great experience. And sometimes when they go to the homecoming and everything. But I think sometimes, I struggle. The only part I struggle with is when it comes to the comparison of academia. That's when it gets a little hazy for me. Because, you can go to a party college and you can be totally into your books and never been to a college, a party day in your life. But, when it comes to the comparison, that's when those are the conversations I don't like having, because something, we were a part of that white is better. And so when you have someone who went to a PWI, they'll start to kind of challenge you. And I remember I had a conversation with somebody and they was just really demeaning my university and telling us we were not worth, I wouldn't have went there and and then they went to college for education, and they got in all that debt, over, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt just to get an education degree. And I tell them, I never met anybody from an HBCU that went for education that's not teaching. I don't know any of them. I'm from Jarvis Christian College all the way up to the Howard universities. I just don't. So I don't like those conversations. But as far as the experience, you can make whatever experience you want to make of it. Those PWIs, they have Black homecomings. They have their own silo of events and stuff. So I support it. I think it's great. But don't start telling me that my education is not valuable. That's when I get out of those conversations, because no, that's not what we're going to do. But I welcome, I enjoy. And then when I have PWI friends who have went to homecoming with me for the experience and they really enjoyed themselves, and I'm glad they did. Like you said, sometimes people don't have the option to choose the college that they want to go to. Sometimes it's parent choice. Sometimes it's, hey, it's convenience, whatever the case may be, scholarship availability. So I'm here for it. So I don't hold that against them at all. And I don't think that they should feel any less than either, because black is black. As some people say, blackity black, black, black. It's what it is. You can't take that off of you. So one of the question was, should the NFL have professional marching bands and do an audition draft like they do professional cheerleaders?
Shit.
And would y'all look? And I'm gonna ask you. And would y'all have auditions?
Back in the day, probably.
Yeah, back in the day.
But now I'm kind of like, who cares? Shit.
At what cost? I mean, those cheerleaders, no offense, but right now, after you graduate college, you about your bread. That moolah gonna be there. I don't think they will be able to afford 200 people paying them at least over $80,000 a year for each person in the band. I mean, it sounds good. The Ravens have a band. Now, I don't know how does that work. I think that's volunteer purposes, but for something to do just one time, I would love to have that experience. But a full-time thing, that's my day-to-day thing. No.
Yeah.
Not for me. But I bet it would be fun to do at least once.
Yeah, one.
But then at the same
time,
I've had the experience of performing at an NFL football game. So, I mean, what would be the hype?
There he go.
To be honest, now that you said, because at first I was like, yeah, I'll be in it, but I marched in the band 5 years, and I was tired. So
yeah,
no, I wouldn't have wanted to be in
that's all. But I think that first year after graduation, I think you probably would have still had a little fire in you, but it would have fizzled out quickly.
Yes,
because I know after one halftime, I would have been like, my knees. I forgot about the knees, and that would have been
all the practices that you were like, are they paying me for this? Imagine all the practices we used to do,
and we couldn't get.
And look at the work we go to work. We go to work 8 hours a day now and be like, man, look, y'all don't pay me enough for this.
I think that's why they said audition draft, because you have to have a love for it. And I want to say that question was along the lines of what is the
fun side of it?
What's the competitive band, DCI of sorts? I think that's what they're looking for. Because the black college experience is so big right now, the bands, all about the band stuff. So they were asking what, I think that's where they were going with it. I'm gonna just say that. So I think like y'all said, I think fresh out of college, it might be something you might look at. I think it's a good opportunity for people, especially with the notoriety and the visuals that the bands are doing these days, and all of the exposure that they're getting now. I'm sure it'll probably be off the chain. They have these all-star bands after college. These people be going back to their respective cities, and Memphis all-star, Houston all-star, Dallas. So it might be something. But again, I think us on this call, on this group. I know we're like the hell to the no, but there's probably young people probably like, heck yeah,
Now that may be a question for music majors.
Yeah, and I think that I think the reason why I think they're probably looking. I'm not saying you just go out there and play. You have to really be good at what you do. So
yeah, delete, of course, NFL.
It says another question you guys had. Really appreciate the concept of the show, and makes me sad knowing we will not have fall football season for HBCUs. Do you all think that the spring will bring the same vibe?
Trish, you want to go first?
No, I don't.
I go.
Crystal.
I think it's how we make it. Like, I'm not really sad. I mean, at first I was, but like now I'm thinking about the spring, and I feel like, especially Prairie View, I can only speak for Prairie View, I think we're gonna make it really fun. It's gonna be off the chain. So it's all how you see it, your perspective. If you come in with bad vibes, like, then yeah, you're not gonna feel that same effect.
Yeah.
I think homecoming is just being around the people you was in school with, like just coming home.
I agree.
I'm coming with bad vibes.
Don't you come.
No, because I'm saying it's like I'm thinking the spring.
Well, I think the weather will be better.
I think it'll be hot.
So the beginning will be a little cold though.
Yeah, so I mean, where do we?
Well, we play on February the 27th. On February the 27th.
Trench coat and all.
Why are you quoting dates? Like,
that's when Grambling played.
Grambling played Prairie View.
And is this the football schedule?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
See, I'm like, why do you even know that?
Hey, I'm a fan. I support.
Yeah, I know. I see. And I do have 10 years on you too. So
once a fan, always a fan.
You a fan too?
Nah, I'm Trish.
Life sometimes prevents us from attending as much, but you still a fan. But I think it's gonna be a good thing. I think we may get the opportunity for people to support who haven't supported before because of the fall being very busy. Think about it: basketball going on at the same time, football, basketball games on the weekends, football game on the weekend. It could be something that could be a very positive thing if we really look at it. Could be a good support for the schools to get that funding, but I don't think it will be to the capacity that it would be if it was the fall. I think people will still support, but I don't think the Prairie View and Grambling game would have the normal 60,000 fans. I think they may get half of that because of the timing and all the things that goes along with some of the things like the fair and things like that. That's going to play an important role in it, especially for that game. Bayou Classic as well. So because it's during Thanksgiving weekend, things like that, it's going to be different. But I think people will still want to see football because Prairie View going to want to beat Grambling. Grambling going to want to beat Prairie View. Grambling going to want to beat Southern. Southern going to want to beat Grambling. Texas Southern going to want to beat Prairie View. So the fans are going to come because they're going to, no, this is our rival. So I think they're going to still support. It's just going to be a little different for us, which may be the new thing,
Was that question for like the football season or for homecoming?
Homecoming.
Yeah, I think homecoming will be. I agree with the whole season. I don't see myself, going to a lot of games, but homecoming, I'll be there for that, and I think a lot of us will be there.
I think so too, because people can't sit down now, and there's nothing going on. So I think that when the options are given to them, I think they'll just be going just to be going.
To be going.
I think at the end of the day, I think it'll be a good support as well. So I have another question.
There's a question in the comments.
Oh, let me see.
Go ahead, Calvin.
It says, "Oh, hey Ray." It says, "What about the new members for SWAC? You talking about Bethune-Cookman and FAMU?"
Gotta be.
Bethune-Cookman and FAMU is just gonna basically, I think it's gonna rebrand Black college sports. I think those are renowned universities coming from their conference, coming into the SWAC. SWAC is a heavy hitter. It's a more known conference, but MEAC has more historic when it comes to notoriety. Like you have Howard over there, now you got FAMU, but now FAMU's here. You got North Carolina A&T, which is the largest HBCU in the nation. So they're leaving that conference, but I think it'll just really bring more to SWAC overall. So I don't have an issue with it. I welcome them. I know that FAMU and Bethune-Cookman bring their own rivalry within themselves, and I think new rivalries will forge now that we'll be seeing them more. It won't be just a year, every other year, a year on, a year off type of situation. What y'all think?
It's going to be very entertaining, the band wise. It's going to be something totally different for the fans, so they're going to love it. If they travel on the west side of the division, sure they're going to travel on the east, but it's going to be different. I think it's going to be a power move. Actually, the cream of the crop of HBCU bands is in the SWAC. No offense to Tennessee State, but the SWAC is where it's at. You know, I think it's going to be a good move.
Yeah, I think it'd be good.
Calvin, I don't have to respond on every question. And as I stated before, when we talked about the new people coming into the SWAC, I didn't care then, and I don't care today.
Okay.
Corey, did you shake your head?
Did.
Why?
Crystal, what you say?
No, why? Why? Go back. Bring it back.
Because you're being Trish.
No, but I don't, you know, like I don't really follow like I used to. So it didn't, when I saw that FAMU was coming over, I was just kind of like,
it didn't phase you. Huh?
It didn't phase me because I don't really even follow FAMU anymore since the whole little fiasco that they had. Like I kind of, you know, I kind of lost respect for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't really follow them anymore. And that's kind of it. Like I think it really will be a cool thing for those different, you know, for Prairie View to see FAMU. You know what I mean? Like to go head to head. But do I really care? I don't. But I think that will be cool. So that's all I was saying.
What say, Mayo?
Speaking from like I was like just graduated from college, you know, still like in the band, like going to practice like I didn't have a job the next day. Would have been really excited. Like I'm excited for the SWAC. In regards to speaking as an older person, you know, like that I just like that's good. I'm not saying the same thing as like Trish, but I feel exactly where she's coming from. But in regard, I'm just happy for the SWAC. I don't see anything like magnificent with battles. You know, I think I had, you know, I've seen FAMU for the first time like last year at the Battle of the Bands, and you know, I don't know. I kind of lost my thrill with just band in general, you know. But for the SWAC, yeah, I'm extremely happy for the SWAC. People should have been known about the SWAC. People be acting like they don't know about the SWAC, and
they know.
They like really just be trying to throw us under the rug when I've always thought that we have the best conference. So let's just add an icing to the cake.
I love my university. I do.
I love the
better conferences out there. We're the most like when it comes to FaceTime, SWAC is where it's at. It really is. But like CIAA, they have like the largest basketball tournament, rival some PWI conferences. But you know, I'm just a history buff. I'm a king of useless knowledge, as my friends used to tell me. So at the end of the day, I think it's just dope. I think that the move is dope. You know, we're the only original school left of the SWAC anyway. So everyone had to migrate some form or other. So
who?
Prairie View and University.
The original what?
Member of the SWAC. We're the original. Everybody else came over. It was a point where I didn't even have a conference. They were just playing.
It won't be no SWAC without
playing on the bus.
Just playing.
Be no SWAC without the G.
Say it again. Say what?
They wanted it at Robinson. Okay.
Prairie View was dominating. You know, Robinson came in and kicked butt.
Not that.
Well, Ed is one of the most winningest coaches, period. But Prairie View had his domination too. So let's give respect where respect is due.
Oh yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Question they had. There was a question. It said, What band would you all march for if it was not for the school you chose?
Really? Oh man, you gonna? It's not recorded, is it?
Yes,
it's recorded.
people are watching.
Woo!
What school? To be honest, what school would it be?
It depends on what you're looking for.
Depending on what you're looking for, because it's what
just to be a band member.
Yeah.
I got like two options.
I got two too.
I have
to be a band member, just to be in the band.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson State and Southern, just to be in the band.
Okay.
To be as a drum major. Not now. This is not what I'm basing my decision off of. Texas Southern.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
I can see that.
For me,
nope. Nope.
I say I'm gonna say Jackson State. To March, and I wouldn't want to be a drum major, but if I wanted to be a drum major, I was gonna say Southern, but I think I'm Jackson State for both.
Trish.
As I stated in the last episode, I was going to Jackson State to be a dancing J-Set. I told y'all.
What?
I said that. Like,
give us a little bit of it. Give us a little bit of it. Trish.
I don't want to shake and knock these pictures down.
QPYT for a chord.
Hey, here we go. 5.
Get ready. No, get ready, Bob.
Oh yeah. Well, it would be Jackson State if I went for band. I just think I love Prairie View. But I think Jackson State is the epitome of a show band. I mean, you always excited. I know that they've changed quite a bit, but I remember they used to have little Tiger runs and little kids on there. It was just always something going on the field. Somebody was coming out the end zone. Twirlo had some fire going on, and
Roy Lee.
Jackson State coming out the drum section. It was just a lot going on, and I used to just enjoy every bit of it. And now every band has become very entrance. This. So, but if I had a choice, but I don't regret anything about Prairie View. I think Prairie View was the epitome of best kept secrets of the swag, especially when it came to halftime. But Jackson State, from the way they come into the stadium, where it was just it. It was just it. I've been proud to be a part of that. So that's my answer.
And it's so funny because at a time when we were in band, all the things that they have now, like the connections and when the auditions are and you audition for your band because either you heard somebody say they go in there or the band director say, hey, go audition for this particular band. Now these kids, they do their own thing. They say, hey, I'm going to UAPB, and they just set up their own audition. They have that ability now. Now they have that. We didn't have that. We didn't have that luxury when we were in school. I ain't that old, but we didn't have it when I was in school either. So, things are a little different now.
That's true. The final question I have for you guys that came in is, what is a crab?
For my band?
And the reason why I put it, because it came from a non-bandsman. So I knew. So I said,
but crab could mean something different for every band, though.
But that's why I asked you, what is it? Because I know what it is at Prairie.
We got the same answer. You're the only one that's different, Calvin.
What's a crab at Grambling? Yeah. You went mute.
You muted yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Currently recruited active bandsman.
Oh.
Oh, that's nice.
That was really nice. Say it again.
Currently recruited active bandsman.
Man, why ain't think of that?
Well, that's clever.
That is very cute.
Well, crabs don't exist anymore in the band. They're called recruits. They're called rookies or something. So we were just talking. I think we were just talking more in our era. It's not a bad thing. It's just basically like earning your stripes, and you like crabs in the book. You're at the bottom, so you're just a crab. That's my definition. It's the most cleanest, most harmless. You're muted.
Look, I was like, cool. I haven't said anything. First year bandsman is a crab.
What say, Trish?
Am I muted? Because I didn't do anything.
I can hear you, but we can't hear Calvin.
Oh, I just said first year bandsman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Combined Corey and Trish. That's his.
What about now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
I have a question for y'all.
Come.
Why
thought Corey was
that...
reading the questions.
Come on,
okay, we're gonna
Kelly.
add this.
I forgot. He's the co-host. I forgot.
Why is it that now, if you call kids crabs, they're so offensive to it, versus when we took pride in it being called a crab?
It's a new day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new day, and you just kids just can't take the way that they talk to us when we're in the band. I'm not saying it was demeaning at sometimes, but you just can't talk to kids that way anymore. They're sensitive to everything.
What do you think plays a role in that?
Time,
Teacher,
parents.
I was gonna say parents.
Yep.
Parents, they make everything like they have watered everything down for them so much that now the kid will think that they're on the same level with you. So when you try to make them understand, like,
Yeah,
you're a kid, like they don't get that because they make decisions at home.
I mean, I would just even go far further with it. Like if you go to probates now, the families have search made saying my baby is number 5. My child is a new initiative of this organization. It's such a it's such an entitlement to everything. Everything is microwaved. Everything is free. It's easily cooked. There's no slow cooking. There's no cutting up the ingredients. There's no, I just remember when we were in the band, and even though I don't think that nothing would have happened to us, but I just remember, Chris, remember when we were crabs, and I remember we were marching out of the Astrodome, and I remember our old head said, "You better not speak to nobody."
Yeah.
Until we get out of this band. So my family was screaming, "Hey!" And,
you can't even say nothing to them.
Whatever. And then once we put our horns up, we were able to go and hug and love on our family. Yeah. But these kids now, you walk by the band, they speaking, they're on the phone. It's a new day, and dad, you say something to them because it's like, I know you're not talking to me, and so, but that comes with the privilege. And when I say privilege, I only mean in privilege and right, like you can't tell my baby, because some of these people are not privileged; they just have the privilege. And they feel like you don't need to talk to me like that. You can ask me nicely. That's not the point. We're not asking you nicely because you're gonna come on a job where, that's why when they graduate, they're asking people to get them jobs at $65,000, $70,000 a year. And I remember I came out of college making $28,000 a year with a master's. And so you couldn't tell me that I wasn't balling. And I know it was in 2004. So you have to earn your way, and you have to make a way. But now it's just like, it's the next best thing. I'm not really taking this serious. I'm gonna be a YouTube sensation. I'm gonna be an Instagram model. Everything is quick. It's quick. And so when you're looking at things that you're saying, and I'm taking it further than just band, when you're looking at things that's going on in the world, and we're saying they ought to be ashamed. There's a 1,000 other people looking at that picture saying, I'm gonna be a Instagram hoe one day, like excited.
Me.
This is gonna be me. So it's the same with the band. I'm not. What you mean? I'm a crab? Because I never forget in 1999 when you had to wear your shirt over your jacket that represent that you're still a freshman. That white shirt, and class of '99 said they didn't feel entitled to do that, and Prop Ed was immediately said, "Hey, you don't have to pull your
Speak on it. Speak on it.
That jacket. You can put it's cold out here." And from that point on, it started with that. Then it went to the haircut, and then it went water and water and water. And so it came from that drumline era, the entitlement, you know. And we're all talented. I never say I want to be the next Louis Armstrong. You know, I didn't say I want to be, you know, famous playing my trumpet, but I was a damn good musician. But I knew my next was not music. So, but I didn't ever come into the band like, oh, y'all need me. You know, I'm not LeBron James or the French ones. But now the kids are like that. Like, oh, I ain't doing all that.
Nope.
Nope. I just know. Shout out to Corey for the shirt.
Yeah, that's Trump hair, y'all. Nope. Nope for 2020.
So, question.
Go ahead.
Do you think that is consistent in the SWAC now, or do you think that some bands still have some things in place that impacts their program?
I do, because you can tell by their performance.
You sure can. I was gonna say you can see.
That's what I'm waiting to hear. I think things changes, but there are some things that still need to be intact, because you see me walking down the street, hey mama, you know, that's just tacky.
Yes, or your mama passing you food through the stands.
Or you on your cell phone in the stands, but that's what.
Or you taking selfies in the stands. The band.
Hey. Next question.
You know, I see it all, but me, like Trish said, you get to a point where you're so removed from it that kind of stuff don't phase you. But then my thing is, at the same time, just talking about it, just being transparent. At the same time, you can't come and say, y'all not defending us and they dragging us. Well, they're dragging you because your discipline is trash. They're dragging you because you're not doing 90s on the field. You're doing 12s. They're dragging you because your core style, and this is supposed to be a marching band. They're dragging you because your band dance is trash. They're dragging you because your arrangements are watered down. They're dragging you because they're dragging you. And you know, I wasn't in that era of being drugged. We marched, we did what we were supposed to do. We didn't compare ourselves, we didn't compete. Obviously there were better products out there, better bands and stuff, but to us, we were the band. And that's all we focused and worried about. And everything they told us to do, we did it to 110%. Hey, when the drums are doing, the snare drums are playing, you can one leg. When you're in place, you can one leg, but that one leg better be a 90. But when the tenors hit that, everybody need to be drilling the ground. You know, you just remember those things. But now it's like people still be back there just. I mean, and I'm not. Let me disclaimer. This is not about Prairie View or what because I do not affiliate with Prairie View.
That's everywhere.
I appreciate the product that you guys bring, and I support you guys as a fellow alumni. I'm not attacking that, but just prime example. You know, you go to these battle of bands, everybody's so excited about the stands, and to me, that's the least. I mean, anybody can sit in place and play a rap tune, rap, but it's that drill, it's that illusion. That's what I be going for the gusto, but I don't get that anymore. So they tell you such and such got the win. Why, man? Did you hit him in the field quarter? No, I was at home.
I know. I left.
No, I'm staying for the fifth now. I'm staying for the fifth, and I'm gonna be there for pregame.
Corey can't stay for the fifth unless it's just the atmosphere is right. Like it's still night, it's still daytime. But you had the game to play. You know what I'm saying? Like Prof said, put it all on halftime.
But you got to look at this. You just said you had the game. These bands, they don't play during the games.
But at the end of the day, I'm not saying that they're wrong for having the fifth quarter. I mean, go for it. But I just get online and see people saying they won. Why? Did you hear them play Caught Up in a Rap? Man, the third song in the fifth quarter. The fifth quarter, you know, you like, I saw that lackluster halftime, and they did not win. Oh, no, they definitely got the win. They were a better band. Why? Man, at that zero quarter, That band marched in and they played Hey in the middle of, you be like, you just be listening. And so now I'm so out of touch. What now? I don't even participate. I just be like, hey, good job. And what I go for, I critique it silently. I say, halftime sucked. Halftime sucked. And then I sit on down and
I know we'll be at the game and Corey will be sitting over there. If we see each other, we make that eye contact. As soon as that halftime you be like, did you see that?
Hey, the first thing say, "Ooh, that was terrible."
but we're from a different era. But like Calvin said, the entertainment value has changed. Now, no one cares about the halftime. It's all about the stands. And I think there's one band who really cares about halftime still, and that's North Carolina A&T. And I see a lot of people tear them apart on the internet, but like they this, they that, but they care about their performance. And so, yeah, you can judge them on the stands and they whatever, but when they come to the halftime, they give you a full cohesive show. You're gonna be like this, but everybody else they come out.
But I think what has impact on that is that that's one, maybe two bands in the SWAC that has an influence on the kids, and we know who those two bands are, and that's what they are strong at. And other bands have gotten away from the field show focus and things like that, and now the kids want to do what they see other bands do instead of being strong at what you're strong at. You can do that too, but don't take away from what you're known for. And I think that plays a role in it as well, because these kids say, "Oh, look at Southern, look at them, they play this, and look at it," and now everybody wants to do the same thing. So that's just a part of it. That's what's going on with this.
Those two powerhouses also were great, great halftime show bands as well. Used to be, but now they're not good either. So I think I
never care for halftime show for either.
It's not about preference. I don't care about the drilling of it either. I just think that they used to put on a decent product. I think that was very important. But now everybody's starting to look the same, play the same things. I just remember Prophet was always saying, make that band dance music, take it somewhere that's never been before. And so when you had that type of leadership, and now people out there playing bum 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 bum, then here comes the next band, bum bum bum. It's like, here comes the next band. Bum, bum, bum.
Same song.
What song was that year? Everybody had it. I think it was
that's Laffy Taffy, you humming.
Yeah, but Bruno Mars one year, everybody was a Bruno Mars. Everybody's Superman. It's like you don't, but I'm going on a tangent. I'm gonna get off of it. So y'all can stay around, but I have some more questions for other episodes. But y'all can definitely participate if you want, or y'all can fall off. But y'all were awesome. Great job.
Thanks for having us.
They did ask for this to be. Some of the a lot of comments were like, they appreciate this episode, and can this be a full-time show? And can
you be a full-time show?
This concept. This was just an episode.
Talk about band and HBCU experience.
Yeah, they want this HBCU to be a whole, the whole show. And
I'm for it.
We know I'm not up for it, but it's open. Anybody, they say, can we have one of these episodes once a month?
I read that.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, but Corey, I want the people out there to know that this turned out to be bigger than what I've anticipated it to be. I'm not really, people know me, I'm really behind the scenes person. So for people to see my face more than I would like is troublesome for me, but I'm getting over that. But I think some of these episodes we're having could really be a whole show on its own. And I think that I don't have a trademark, anything, or patent on the end of this. So anybody out there, any of my co-hosts, hey, if you want to start your own podcast, I will show you the ropes.
No, Corey, it's not. I don't think it was that I do think it was that episode, but it has a lot to do with you and
Yep.
the way that you go about with the questioning, and because every show you have, there is a teaching moment. You know, saying like you're always teaching about voting. You know, so and they just look forward to that. So it's what you bring, and then I think the cast that you had when you got us together, we just kind of vibe, and it just kind of flowed, and we just had fun, and I think they enjoyed the freshness. You know what I'm saying? It was like fresh.
Three
And
P's in a Jeep, baby.
Yeah, and then it was just like it was genuine, it was authentic, and it was just fresh. Because I watched the episode, I know 5 times just to like laugh. I was just laughing. I was like, dog, we are so dumb. Like like we're smart, but we are dumb. Like it was good. It was refreshing.
Do we have a date for part 2?
already.
You know, y'all can go. We can go on that text group and we could talk about it, because I know October is homecoming week, homecoming month. Typically, and next week I'm doing Zoom, and a boom, boom, and then the week after that I'm doing Black Girls Rock, being a Black woman, trying to keep down the job and doing COVID and things struggle to go with, and then that following week we can do homecoming part 2. And so I think that week is the 21st or something like that. Because I think it's the 3rd, the 10th, maybe it's the 17th. Help me out. I don't know.
But just know the second show is coming, right?
Yeah, second show is coming. It's coming. So next week is what, the 24th, right?
Yeah.
Next week's the 24th. And then the following is the 3rd.
The first.
Should be the first.
That's Black Girls Rock, Black Girl Magic, and then the next week is that's open. The 9th.
8th.
The 8th. So you can do the 8th or the 15th.
15th.
Okay. Awesome.
Y'all done already booked.
Y'all already booked. Y'all
Let's start promoting it. Let's start promoting now so we can let
you gotta get the people what they want.
Those that are interested to call in.
Oh yeah. And then a lot of comments, people were like, man, really enjoyed the call-in aspect of it. And so we want to get next time we'll be a little more organized. That was our first time, y'all, trying to let people call in live, and it got really out of hand. A lot of people didn't get to get heard but there were a lot of people in queue, and it was very appreciative seeing that people were willing to do that, and I want people to continue that. That's important. But we are more than band, and I think a lot of people enjoyed the humor in us because we were like silly bandsmen. But we're more HBCUs are more than band. There's a lot of different components when it comes to homecoming. There were football players that were trying to call in. We had a hard time. It's only 10 people can be on here at a time, and so there's already 17 of us. So just imagine.
I have a proposal.
Go ahead.
I think since podcast has been something consistent with surviving the podcast since the first season, I think that we can give them at least 2 shows a year.
Okay.
At the beginning and in regards to the HBCU experience and things like that. What you guys think? Trish, Crystal?
I don't think nobody has the issue. We got to check with Beyonce first. But I don't think any of us have the issue. I think the whole team was willing.
Beyonce may be booked.
Beyonce said they were willing to come back as well.
She booked the night.
I think I couldn't muster up that appearance fee. We missed Beyonce.
Oh man.
I am
And look,
I'm Farrah.
And I'm the other one. Who with you? Me and you gone.
Yeah. Latavia.
Yeah.
I'm Farrah.
I'm Farrah.
Well, I'm Latoya. Whoever. Yeah. I'm just here. I know.
Yeah, I think people did enjoy it. People enjoyed that episode. It was really, one of the most watched. A lot of comments, and I haven't even put up the audio yet on the podcast because I'm still editing it.
Yes,
it was out there. I want to say, because I don't think I can go any longer. I'm gonna have to do a part for this. there was key episodes. The frontline workers got a lot of questions, a lot of comments. There was a lot of complimentary questions. The workout episode, a lot of questions, a lot of advice. So I have to do those 2 episodes. And I think I'm gonna have to do those separately. The first episode, Risky Relocation, part 1 and 2, there were a lot of questions to Matt and Mandy. COVID be damned, that was the one for myself. There was a lot of questions that came from that episode too. And Stimulate My Stimulus. So I have a lot of there's a lot of Q&A. So I might have to do a part 2 of this, but it's very important because a lot of the questions, things have changed. Like even since Stimulate My Stimulus, right now they're trying to fight to give us a part 2 of the stimulus. A lot of questions came for Joe Biden. And in this time, he didn't announce who his running mate was. That wasn't even an option. So these questions, some of these questions are so relevant now than they were back then. And Trish's episode with social distancing, there were a lot of, and what I really want to say to people is that I know you could be doing a lot of different things. This podcast is really like off the cuff. There's no rhyme or reason to it, but we really have a good time. But to see the questions, I get a whole lot of questions from email, comment. It's just really, really refreshing. And I want to make sure that people who ever watching, those questions do get answered. This time I chose not to reply back because I had guests and I wanted the guests to be able to participate. Normally I would have emailed you by now, but I want you guys to know that that's going to happen. And I do want you to know that all of those episodes got a numerous amount of questions. And even I didn't do the 2 episodes I didn't do were Barry Central and the latest one I did. I didn't do my education because those are that was like a slew of a whole episode within itself. Some of those questions were so extreme and so really detail oriented that I want to bring those 2 cats back on and have them answer them live. So it's just a lot. I didn't know that these episodes were going to be this heavy. And when I say heavy, I don't mean heavy as in sorrow, heavy as in response. I don't know if you guys saw earlier, watching earlier, but the episode with the mom, the house divided, there were a lot of questions to those ladies. I think they had the most questions because there's people out here really hurting being mothers and trying to be homeschooled and they just needed to hear, and they really enjoyed their voices. Their voices were refreshing. And I recorded with them before I went live. And I think if they'd have saw them live, I think they probably would have got even more questions because they genuinely really rock with each other. Their energy is contagious. Even I be over there and they're just good people. So this season really shaped up and we're not even done. So I don't know if I should hit stop and come back and do a season 3 and continue, but I'm gonna finish up. I have 7 other episodes to record when it comes to topics. So it's gonna spur some other things. Maybe when the world open back up, maybe we can do a live episode, have an audience or whatever. So it's just a lot. It's just a lot. It's a lot on my plate, y'all. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. But
you're doing well, man.
This won't be a podcast for say you won't get this audio on the actual podcast platform. This was just a live episode so people could see and just get some of those questions answered. And I really thank the people who called in, like you guys were able to jump on and out of their busy schedules because we all busy. Even though COVID has hit us, we all still finding a way to be occupied.
Yeah. And Corey, I wanna say something to you because I've watched you grow this podcast from just surviving Seattle, and I think you were it was kind of like your diary.
It was.
And now to watch you go into another season, and now you're already you don't, and I know you don't want to do another season, but Corey, it's it is yours now. You have a strong following. The people love you, they love you. And I know Huh?
I think they love my guests. They love the guests.
But Corey,
They love you.
they love you and they come because of you. And then
Mhm.
the guests just happen to be a gift to them, but they come for you. So you got to own that and just and embrace it. It's you, dog. You're doing a really good job. I'm so proud of you. Like it's like what 20, almost 25 years.
18? Was it 17?
Mm-mm.
It's not. It
20,
ain't 20.
22.
Something like yeah.
22.
Yeah. So just to watch you like just grow into your own, and I'm not saying you weren't grown then, but just watching like the podcast thing and how you didn't want to do it, and you know, oh Trish, this is just so much, but it's still going. As much as it is, it's still going. Because I'm gonna tell you what it does for you, because you always talk about, oh, this job. This podcast is your outlet.
That's true.
It takes you away from your job. You're not thinking about your job right now. You just, whatever the topic is, that's where you are. And depending on your guests, you laughing and you free. You've given people a voice. You've done an amazing job with this podcast. Great job. Yeah. See?
I'm thinking about my job.
And to add on to what Trish was saying,
well, it doesn't look like it. You look stress free.
yeah,
Doing well,
golden.
man.
You glowing.
There's a glow.
And
I need to get one of the Jimmy Ray Osborne lights. That light was on point.
That boy was in the studio.
That shit was dope.
It was. And
That's to step my game up.
I keep saying this to add on to what Trish was saying. Besides just being an outlet for you, just speaking for myself, like it brings my spirit joy. You know, I've worked hard today. I'm tired, and you know, I got on here, and it just lifted my spirit. So you're not just
your pretty face.
It's just that good old profile, good old yeah, that too. But
this how you get it. That's what she said. This how you get
it. Thank you. It's an outlet for other people too. And you know, like from the beginning, I think I was nervous because we didn't know how it was gonna turn out. We just was ourselves, but like I look forward to talking to y'all. Like when y'all pop up I was like, ooh, let me take a break and let me just laugh, you know. And
that text is lit.
So what
I really want to show people the picture that Jimmy did today.
You should. You gotta put it up. You should.
How do I put it up?
Just screenshot, put it in the comments. Put it in the
Is that how you do it?
Oh, I don't know.
I would put it in the comments.
It was funny though.
It was hilarious. Let me see.
They can't get the inside scoop to the messages. No.
Yeah, you should.
If we're gonna go down, we're gonna go down with everything in the message.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Okay, well, wait, y'all.
Talk about the storefront.
Don't do it then. Don't do it.
We didn't even see you being petty.
Let me stop.
Hey man, I'm glad. I'm glad we called in because
I'm just saying.
I was so tired from work, man. I just got out of a meeting like right before like I came in. That's what I was like. I thought you said
unexpected.
What happened?
Unexpected.
Yeah.
And then Calvin talking about when we let us know when we need to call in.
I was like, hey, what? Calvin, can you calm down?
Hey, let me get it over with.
What's that?
Mute your mute. You have to mute something.
Look, I was like, who calling in here?
Corey, what you doing?
I was trying to share that picture, but I don't know how.
Still trying to see it.
Put it up on your iPad.
Yeah, that picture was funny.
It was funny.
Oh, I can't do that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Let me get off of here.
It's everywhere. I'm saying double.
I think the people need to see it. Jimmy did well. Jimmy coloring was well.
Boy, that boy's good.
That boy good. I bet the camera over there. First of all, let me get the picture up because I don't want anything else but because people be nosy. There's a group text. Is that it?
Trish, you know, I watched this. I watched that video about 5 times too, especially the beginning.
Girl.
Ooh, that was so funny. My sister was cracking up.
Girl, I could not believe it.
Oh, that special
The
cigarette.
beginning, my mom was cracking up.
Girl, I could not believe it.
They were laughing. It was
We had
funny.
us. I ain't even know the show had started.
We didn't. None of us knew.
He talking about he was trying to tell us. No, you would.
No, you
I
wouldn't.
was.
He said every time y'all killed. Corey, no, you didn't. Because I kept watching just to see when he tried to tell us. And then he said, no, I tried to tell y'all. When? I keep looking back. I still don't see it.
He
Man.
didn't. He said, I thought he said a notification was going to, we would be notified when it's live or something like that.
They're just caught without masks or being made to dig graves.
Corey, I think you should just
In the
give
hope of their task will change their minds. Wow.
Oh, I got the wrong camera.
Corey,
I think he found it.
I think
No, just put it on the thing. Put it on the laptop.
I need to put it on Look at me. This is trash. I know I'm trash. Bear with me, America. Whatever. Y'all see it?
Yeah, you got to get closer.
He painted.
Zoom in on Calvin.
He wrong.
Hey, he said at least we left the Grambling on there.
Jimmy took.
He colored around the ground.
He wrong.
He colored Calvin's shirt from red to purple. He said, much better, much better. And I said, Grambling. I said, Prairie View A&M University at Grambling. I could dig it. Yeah, that was hilarious. But now,
funny.
Y'all a mess.
Good times. Good
How
times.
do I leave this?
I love laughing.
Bear with me, good people.
Now to my love laughing.
I
be wanting my stomach to hurt when I laugh.
Oh, yeah. Rumble.
Yeah.
So, long story long. This is a good episode. I wanted to just take a break in the middle. We have so much footage and so much going on. But I thank y'all for those words. I tell people, I don't take it for granted. It's just everybody know, not everybody, but those who are close to me know I'm really like a behind the scenes person. But this has forced me to, people to talk, be more outwardly with people, be more, hey, people always just say I'm a busybody, but I'll disappear. But now, people know who I am. So
every Thursday.
Every Thursday. And I'm turning 40 as well.
Yes.
On the 29th of September. And so I do have a fundraiser, if you will, that's out. I'm sponsoring last year when I turned 39, I did a donation fundraising drive for a homeless initiative, and we were able to raise $1,650 for 2 homeless African American families in Seattle. And this year we're doing cancer research. There's a very, very rare cancer that I'm raising funds for. And so I think I put it on my Facebook. I really don't know how that worked, but instead of people trying to donate to me or trying to buy me something for my birthday, it is my 40th. I'm very grateful, but I'm also very blessed. My goal is of $1,000, and I'm gonna match that $1,000 or whatever I get. So I'm a get 1,000 plus.
Oh, you eat barbecue? What the?
Yeah, what you eat?
I ain't doing nothing.
No, you were messing with a styrofoam something, and then he's sucking on his teeth.
Oh, I was.
And I keep saying,
what is
Yeah.
he doing?
So that's my birthday initiative for my 40th. To try to raise $1,000 for cancer research, and I'll match whatever. So if we get over 1,000, if I end up getting 1,500, 1,600, whatever, I'll match that with my own personal fund so we can go on behalf of my 40th birthday. So
Big
I think the donation, I think the button is on my thing, but hey, it's not, don't feel obligated. I don't want anybody to feel pressured. I just know that people always say, Corey, what you want, what you need. I don't need anything, but there's some people out there who need more than us every day. even through COVID, even with your $1,200 stimulus check.
That's gone.
It's gone, but some people never even received it. And there's like over 90 million people who never received a stimulus check. So in this particular case, this is all for cancer, because cancer is still wiping people out, and it's still taking innocent lives, just like COVID is. But cancer is something that some people just cannot control. That's why I say get tested, get happy. You know, Chad Boseman's situation, just a lot. But I'm a heavy person when it comes to certain things, and I'm very, very, very grateful for making my survival. So I think that the cancer donation for my 40th will be thing. I know some people like you're not turning 40, but I am turning 40. I know they'd be trying to compliment me, but light skin, we aged very bad. So I'm grateful. But tomorrow I might look like I'm 72 when I wake up.
So you see what I'm saying? Look how you just poured into you're trying to pour into something else. This is why people love you. This is why the podcast will never end. See how you gave us that lesson? There's a rare cancer out there. We had no knowledge of it, but now we like you.
Yeah, it is. It's taking people out, and it's just with the polyps, simple things that you always take for granted that whatever, it always something that turns cancerous. So I tell people, get tested, go to the doctor regularly, and just try to be better people. Some fucked up people in this world.
Live life
great, but live life great, but also be great as a person. Don't be a fraud all your life. Thank you guys for listening. I said that very hard, didn't I?
Yes.
I didn't mean to say it so hard, but I meant what I said. Y'all have a good night.